Okay. All right. Assalamualaikum and very good night to everyone. All right. Okay. Let us meet again in this online lecturing session. Okay. Let us continue on our discussion from today. All right. So earlier today we already discussed about corporate strategy. Yeah. Basically, corporate strategy, yeah, is a directional strategy, yeah, that consists of three directions that organization may take. Yeah, for example, directional strategy consists of growth, stability, and retrenchment. All right. So if you look at this diagram, all right, this diagram summarize what directional strategy is all about. Why it is a corporate strategy is being called directional strategy? It is because as a top management, their main function or their main task is to determine the direction of their organization. So when we talk about the direction of the organization, so basically there are three types of direction that organization may choose. Firstly is growth, second is stability, and the third one is the retrenchment. Okay, so now what is the determining factor to choose any one of these? Right, the determining factor in order to choose any of this strategy is we should depends on our condition in the life cycle. Yeah, where we are now at the stage of life cycle. For example, let's say if our organization or if the industry is still in the earlier part, yeah, it means that in the growth rate, in the growth stage, so the organization or the top management may choose to use a growth strategy. Why to choose a growth strategy? Because at growth stage, the market or the industry still have what we call attractiveness. All right. The market or the industry have what we call attractiveness. What is a market attractiveness? Market attractiveness means that the market has a huge potential for growth, and then our market share or our market position is very good, where not many competitors enter the market yet. So basically, the industry or the market is still relatively new, and it has a lot of potential. So it means that we want to take every opportunities that is available in that market or in that industry. So we use a growth strategy. We want to grow our business, yeah, as big as we can. Yeah. So under growth strategy, we have basically two main strategy, which is a concentration strategy and diversification strategy. Yeah. All right. Stability strategy is normally we use when the industry has reached what we call the maturity stage. Yeah. Maturity stage is when there is no more growth potential available for the market. And so under that, during that period of time, so what organization or what top management decide is we must hold on to our position. That's why we are using stability strategy. And last but not least, during the declining stage, we will use the retrenchment strategy. So in a nutshell, this is what corporate strategy is all about. Yeah. It is called corporate directional strategy. Okay, earlier we have discussed, yeah, concentration strategy. Basically, we have discussed vertical growth and the horizontal growth. All right. Okay, so vertical integration. Yeah, what is vertical growth in a nutshell? Vertical growth in a nutshell is when we are able to assume the role of a supplier or the role of a distributor. So this is what we call a vertical growth. So it means that when we are able to assume other people's role, it means that we are growing. Our organization is become stronger. Our organization is become bigger. That's why we are able to assume other people's role. For example, instead of relying on our supplier for raw materials, now we can produce our own. So when you are able to do that, yeah, you are having what we call a vertical growth. Or if you are able to play the role of your distributor, yeah, you can distribute your own product, you can sell, you can market your own product. So you assume the role of a distributor. Again, you are able to do what we call a vertical growth. So when you are able to do, when you have what we call a vertical growth, it means that you are able to do vertical integration. Yeah, you are able to do vertical integration. Vertical integration, by definition, it means what? It means that the firms operates vertically in multiple locations on industry value chain. Yeah, from extracting raw materials to manufacturing to retailing. All right. So when we talk about industry value chain, so please recall that there are three main location on a value chain, on industry value chain. Yeah, three main location or three main activity. Yeah, number one is the input, and then process, and then output. So traditionally, industry or a firm, they are just a manufacturer. Yeah, they are just a manufacturer. They depends on supplier for raw materials, and they depends on distributor to market their product. So that is what we call traditionally. Yeah, normally all firm is like that. But when they are able to do vertical integration, now it means what? It means that they are able to operate more than one location on the industry value chain. It means that they can operate as a, what we call, as a manufacturer, they can operate as the supplier, and also they can also operate as the distributor. So that's why it is called a vertical integration. So it means that the firm are able to operate vertically on multiple location on the industry value chain, either as a manufacturer, or either as a supplier, or either as the distributor. So when you are able to do vertical integration, it means that your company has grown in terms of strength, in terms of capacity, in terms of ability. All right, when we talk about vertical integration, all right, there are two types of vertical integration. Number one, backward integration or forward integration. Backward integration is when you able to assume the role of a supplier. And forward integration is when you are able to assume the role provided by a distributor. So backward and forward integration. So some company, they are able to do only backward. Some company, they are able to do the forward. But some company, they are able to do both, yeah, backward and forward integration. So when they are able to do both forward and backward integration, it is mean that the company are doing full integration. Yeah, they are doing full integration. A firm internally makes 100% of its key suppliers and completely control its distributor. Yeah, this is full integration. And then taper integration, the company only produce half what they need, and they buy another half of their needs from the suppliers. Yeah, taper, that is what we call taper integration. Yeah, meaning that they produce half, yeah, or less than half of their own requirements, and they buy the rest from the outside suppliers. This is taper integration. 50% lah, senang boleh cakap macam tu. And then we have quasi integration. Quasi integration is a unique situation when the firm, they does not make any of their supplies, but they purchase most of the requirement from outside suppliers, but they are able to control, yeah, they are able to partially control the suppliers, even though the suppliers are not their own subsidiary, but they are able to control those suppliers. How can they, how they are able to control those suppliers? So it is maybe what we call, when we can influence other companies. Yeah, when we are able to become a powerful buyer. Yeah, when we are becoming a powerful buyer. Yeah, how can we become a powerful buyer? Okay, we become a powerful buyer when we buy in large quantity. Yeah, and at the same time, in the industry, there are many sellers. Yeah, there are many providers, but only a limited buyer. So let's say we are among those buyers. So when we buy in large quantity, and those suppliers, they are queuing to sell their product to us, for example. So in that situation, we can dictate, yeah, we can dictate the terms. For example, you want to buy in lower price, but in higher quantity, for example. So you can dictate. This is when you are able to do quasi integration. Yeah, even though you depends on suppliers, but you are able to partially control the suppliers. Yeah. Okay. This is quasi integration. And long-term contracts. Long-term contract, again, it is a situation where a firm does not produce their own materials, their own requirements, but they depends on independent suppliers. But how to tie down the commitment of the independent suppliers so that they will not so that they will supply the raw material consistently to our firm is by having a long-term contract with them. We sign a contract with them so that during for a specific period of time, they will deliver, they will supply us a certain raw material with a certain quality. So this long-term contract will function as a protection for our firm. Protection from what? Protection from breach of contract. For example, let's say the suppliers, if they fail to fulfill their obligation according to the contracts, you may sue them. So when you sue them, so it means that you will be compensated. Your loss will be compensated. All right. So this is what we call long-term contract. Okay. So again, all right, concentration strategy. Okay, tadi kita dah belajar tentang vertical growth. All right, now we have a horizontal growth. Remember, under concentration strategy, under concentration strategy, there are two types of sub-strategy. First is the vertical growth, and secondly is the horizontal growth. Horizontal growth. All right, what is the difference between vertical and horizontal? All right, I want to please bear this in mind. What is the difference between vertical and horizontal? Okay, put this in mind. Vertical means industry value chain. That is what we call vertical. So when you are able to grow vertically, it means what? It means that you are able to operate on multiple locations on the industry value chain. So remember, the word vertical refer to value chain. Refer to value chain. All right. What do you have? What do we have on the value chain? Basically on the value chain there are three types of activity: input, process, output. All right. Normally we are in the middle. We are only engaging in the manufacturing process. But when our firm grow, from relying on suppliers for raw materials, now we are able to produce our own raw materials. So when we are able to do that, we are growing. We are able to do what we call backward integration. And when we are able to assume the role of a manufacturer, when we are able to assume the role of a distributor, then we are able to do what we call forward integration. So backward, forward integration are all happens on the vertical integration. Right? I hope you are clear with that. So whenever you see the word vertical, it means none other than industry value chain. Remember that, Okay. But when you see the word horizontal, right? When you see the word horizontal simply means what? Horizontal means geographical location. This is what we call horizon mean. Horizon. It means what? It means that you grow your company, or the expansion of your company take place in terms of you are operating at multiple geographic location. It means that you grow your business in terms of what? In terms of you are expanding it into multiple geographic location. Nampak tak? Itu horizontal growth. But vertical growth, we are operating in the same geographic location, but our role on the supply chain increase. It means that in vertical integration, we are operating in that specific geographic location. We are not moving anywhere, but our role on the industry value chain increased. From being only a manufacturer, now we are able to do backward integration, and we are able to do forward integration. We grow, the grow take place in the form of our role on the industry value chain. instead of becoming only a manufacturer, now we become a producer of our own supplies, and we become the marketer of our own products. And that is what we call vertical integrate. The business grow in such a way that they remain on the same place, but their function increase. They can do many things. They can grow in terms of their capacity and their capabilities to self-sustain. It means that they are no longer depends on suppliers and distributors. They can do their own. All right. Whenever we discuss horizon, it comes from the word horizon. What does it mean? What does it mean by horizon? Yeah. Uh, some people say that there is a saying that when you travel a lot, you are broaden your horizon. What does it mean? Yeah, you broaden your horizon. Horizon basically means what? Geographical locations. All right. So when we are doing horizontal growth, yeah, when we are doing horizontal growth, it means what? It means that we expand our business in terms of geographic location. Yeah, we expand our business in terms of geographic location, but our position on the industry supply chain remain on the same place. For example, let's say on a supply chain, we are a manufacturer. So when we talk about horizontal growth, all right, we are still remain as a manufacturer, but we open many branches in many multiple locations. But on the supply chain, we just remain there. You understand or not the difference? Please give me feedback. Are you clear with my explanation or not? The difference between vertical and horizontal. Yeah, please give me feedback. Please, you can use the chat function. All right, if you understand, then say yes, so that I know that you understand. I'm waiting. Anyone? Did you understand or not? The difference between horizontal, what does it mean by vertical and horizontal? Yeah, vertical and horizontal. We have vertical growth, we have horizontal growth. So basically, I just want to explain to you what does it mean by vertical and by horizontal. Vertical means we are referring to the value chain. Yeah, when we are talking about vertical, we are talking about positions on the value chain. When we are talking about horizontal, yeah, we are talking about other geographical location. All right. So vertical, so meaning that a firm can grow vertically and a firm can grow horizontally. When a firm grow horizontally, it means what? It means that their businesses now operate in many geographical location. Yeah, for example, let's say the firm previously only operate in the northern region. Now they operate in the southern region, on the western region, on the eastern region. Now this is what we call a horizontal growth. But in terms of the vertical, in term of the what we call their position on the supply chain, their position on the industry value chain, their position may not increase. It means that they are maybe they still become a manufacturer. Yeah, they are only just a manufacturer, but they are growing in terms of the horizontal. Yeah, they are growing in terms of multiple markets they are entering. All right. Okay. So please bear in mind. Please bear in mind that is the difference between vertical and horizontal growth. All right. So horizontal growth is the expansion of operation into other geographic location and or increasing the range of products and services offered to current markets. Okay, so meaning that horizontal growth, it means what? It means that you are growing in terms of you are now operating in multiple geographical location. This is what we call horizontal growth. All right, you are selling your current products in many places, in many what we call geographical location, in many markets, yeah, in many countries, for example. Or sometimes horizontal growth juga could mean what? Increase the range of product and services offered to the current market. Also, horizontal growth means that way. It means that you increase the product lines into the current market. That could mean horizontal growth as well. Yeah. All right. Okay, then when we have horizontal growth, of course, we have horizontal integration. Yeah. Okay, so when you are able to operate in many geographical locations, it means that you are able to do what we call horizontal integration. Horizontal integration means the degree to which a firm operates in a multiple geographic location at the same point in an industry value chain. This is what I'm trying to explain to you earlier. Okay, class? Did you not? Can you differentiate the difference between vertical and horizontal? If you can, please say yes. You can use the chat button and please respond to me. All right, so this is what we call horizontal integration. The degree to which a firm operates in a multiple geographic location and at the same point in an industry value chain. Ni yang saya terang tadi ni. It means that the firm operates in many places, in many geographic location, but on the industry value chain, they remain at the same point. It means that if they are a manufacturer, they just remain as a manufacturer, but they operate in many locations. Can you notice the difference? I hope you can, because this understanding is very crucial. Yeah? All right. Okay, so we are done with concentration strategy. All right. Now we are moving to diversification strategy. Okay, class, do not lose your bearing because we are still discussing growth strategy. Yeah, we are still discussing the growth strategy. Remember, growth strategy consists of two main strategy. Yeah, the first one is the the first one is the concentration strategy, and the second one is the diversification strategy. All right, now we are moving into the second strategy. We are moving to the second strategy in the growth strategy. All right, now we are discussing the diversification strategy. So for your information, please refer to this diagram. All right, we are still here, class. We are still here. So we just finished discussing concentration strategy, where in concentration strategy, we have vertical growth and horizontal growth. It means that the firm, they can grow vertically and also they can grow horizontally. Yeah, they can grow vertically and they can grow horizontally. How is growing vertically? Growing vertically means that they are able to operate at many locations on the industry value chain. They can operate as a manufacturer, they can operate as the supplier, yeah, they make their own raw materials, or they can operate as the distributor where they sell and they market their own products. So this is what we call vertical growth, yeah, vertical growth. So when you are able to grow vertically, it means what? It means that you are able to do vertical integration. All right. Whereas the horizontal growth, yeah, that we just discussed just now, horizon means what? Horizon means that in term of your position on the industry value chain does not change. You operate as the manufacturer. You are not doing vertical integration. But horizontal growth means that you are, instead of operating at one geographical location, you are able to expand your operation at other geographical location. It means that you are now operating in the north part, in the south part, in the west part, in the east part. Yeah, but your position on the industry value chain remain the same. Yeah, it's just your physical location. Yeah, it's just your physical geographical location that expand. All right, so this is what we call horizontal growth and vertical growth. Okay, now we are discussing the diversification strategy. All right, diversification strategy. Yeah, okay, class, we still have 10 minutes for this session. All right, after the session ends, I will send you a new link. Okay, so let us see a little bit on diversification strategy. All right, diversification strategy can be divided into concentric diversification and conglomerate diversification. Okay, but first and foremost, what is a diversification strategy? diversification strategy, as the name suggests, all right, it is in opposite of the apa nama? It is the opposite of the concentration strategy. All right. So concentration strategy, you focus on one particular industry, right? Whereas the diversification strategy, you diversify your operation into other industry. So diversification strategy can be categorized into related diversification, or we call it concentric diversification. And the other one is conglomerate diversification, which is unrelated diversification. Okay, what is a related diversification? Okay, a related diversification or a concentric diversification refer to a growth into a related industry when a firm has strong competitive position but industry attractiveness is low. All right, what does it mean? It means that you are venturing into a new industry. Yeah, you are venturing into a new industry, which still related with your original core industry. It means that even though you are now doing or entering a new market or a new industry, that new industry still related with your original industry. Okay, I always use this example. Yeah, for example, let's say Proton. Yeah, Proton. They are a manufacturer of vehicles. Yeah, they are manufacturers of car. Yeah, motor car. Okay, now due to let's say the market start to become saturated, for example, many players start to coming into the industry. For example, now instead of only focusing on producing a car, now Proton decided that we must venturing into producing another vehicle. So maybe Proton decide, all right, they want to produce a pickup truck, for example, like Toyota Hilux, like Nissan Navara, a pickup truck. Why? Because they still have the know-how. They have the what we call synergy. What is synergy? Synergy means they have the transferable expertise. They have the transferable technologies that can enable them to easily venturing into a new industry. Yeah. So meaning that a part of producing what we call the individual vehicle, now Proton decide to produce industrial vehicle like a pickup truck, like let's say lorry, like bus, for example. That is what we call related diversification, because they still have the know-how of producing a motor car, producing an engine and everything. So it means that they are using their skill, yeah, to venturing into a related businesses. Yeah, a new one but related, still related with the core business that they have. So this is what we call a related diversification. So why in the first place the firm decide to do diversification is because the current industry has lost its attractiveness. Yeah, maybe the attractiveness is becoming low. Why? Because attractiveness is low when growth rate is already low. And at the same time, the market becomes saturated. Why? Because there are many competitors coming in. All right. So the market has lost its attractiveness. Like before, it's just us or only a handful of players in the industry. But now many company coming in, it make the market become not so attractive as before. So that's why firm has to find new industry in order to invest their wealth in order to create more profit. All right. So this is what we call related diversification. Okay. And the second types of diversification is what we call conglomerate diversification. Yeah, conglomerate diversification refer to what we call unrelated diversification. You diversify into an industry unrelated to your current business. Yeah, you diversify or you enter a new industry which has nothing to do with your original industry. For example, yeah, I like to use this example, like Yamaha. I always give this example. All right, Yamaha is known for they are producer of motorcycles, right? So Yamaha, apart from motorcycle, they are also producing musical instruments, for example. This is a very clearly unrelated industry. Okay, they produce motorcycle, they produce musical instrument, for example. Yeah, they diversify into unrelated industry. All right. Why they are doing that? Because the management realized maybe the current industry is not so attractive as it is used to. Why it is become unattractive? Like I said earlier, maybe the growth rate has become lower. There is no more growth that available in the current industry. There growth mean what? It means that the opportunities are now limited. Yeah, there are not so much opportunities available anymore in the current industry, or sometimes there are many players start to coming into that industry, so it makes the market become unattractive. So that's why we need to find another industry so that we can invest our wealth, so that we can create more money, more profit. So that's the reason behind diversification. Or firm lack outstanding abilities or skills that it could easily transfer to related products or services in other industry. Yes, in conglomerate diversification, firm normally they do not have abilities or skill or knowledge, yeah, that they can transfer to the new industry. Why? Because the new industry is something that is new to them, something that they don't have expertise. But company who are able to do conglomerate diversification, normally a strong company, yeah, normally a company which have a strong financial backup. Yeah, that's why they are able to venture into a new industry which they do not have expertise. So you might be thinking, so if they do not have expertise, then how they are going to operate? Easy. They hire people who are able to, people who have knowledge. All right, that's it. Okay, so this is what we call diversification strategy. All right. Okay, so we are done with the growth strategy. Next, okay, I hope you read this one a little bit. Yeah, controversy in directional strategy. All right. So is vertical growth better than the horizontal growth? So you may try to answer this question, or maybe I ask you in the quiz guy yang ni menarik juga. Kan? Vertical growth. The question asks you which one is better, vertical growth. Is it vertical growth better than horizontal growth? So you need to know what is vertical growth and what is horizontal growth. Vertical growth, as I said, as I explained earlier, all right, in terms of what we call new market, you are not entering new market. You are still operating there, but now your internal capacity has increased. I mean, internal capacity has increased in terms of now you are able to produce your own supplies. Now you are able to market your own product. So it means that your internal capacity has increased. Whereas horizontal growth, you remain as a manufacturer. You remain as a manufacturer. You still rely on people for raw materials. You still rely on people for distribution of your product. But in terms of geographical location, you are expanding. Yeah, you are expanding into a new market, into a new territory, selling the same products. So the question is, which one is better? So you need to answer that. Which one is better? Either to grow internally better or to grow horizontally better. Right? So soalan yang kedua, is concentration better than diversification? Again, you must have justification. If you say concentration is better, why? And if you say diversification is better, then why? What's your reason? To me, both have pro and cons actually. Okay. Number 3, is concentrate diversification better than conglomerate diversification? Again, it's a question for us to ponder. Yeah. Okay. Now we still have less than 1 minute. Okay. So the session will end anytime. All right. Don't go anywhere. I will send you a new link. So we will proceed with the stability strategies after the sessions end. Okay. Don't go anywhere.